Your special person took your photo to a psychic, and they cried tears of blood when they heard that you are, Sparkles. My beloved child, don't skip, stay till the end, because something huge is waiting. Your special person did something they never planned to tell you. They took your photo to a psychic, not because they had forgotten you, but because they could no longer understand why your presence kept returning to their mind at the strangest moments. They placed your picture down and expected a simple answer. Instead, the psychic became completely silent. Their expression changed the moment they looked at your face, and what happened next left your special person frozen in their seat. Tears began falling as the psychic stared at your photograph, and in that overwhelming moment, those tears seemed like tears of blood. Don't skip, because the reason behind that reaction is where everything changes. Your special person quietly asked, "What did you see?" But the psychic didn't answer immediately. They kept looking at your photograph as though there was something about you that could not be explained in one sentence. Then they finally whispered something your special person was not prepared to hear: "This person is not ordinary in your story." What came next made the entire reading feel different. The psychic said there was an unfinished emotional chapter surrounding your connection. Something your special person had tried to silence, avoid, or explain away, yet it kept returning. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. According to the reading, your special person had been carrying questions they never asked you, words they never said, and feelings they thought would disappear with time. But instead of disappearing, those feelings became louder whenever they were alone. The psychic pointed toward your photograph and said, "You came here hoping I would tell you how to forget this person. But that is not the real reason you are here." Your special person suddenly went quiet. That sentence landed too close to something they had been hiding even from themselves. And then came the first revelation: they had not brought your photograph there to discover whether you still cared. Deep inside, they wanted to know why they still cared so much. But that was only the beginning. The psychic looked at your photo one more time and said something that changed the atmosphere completely: "There is one truth about this person you still haven't understood. Don't skip." Your special person leaned forward because this was the answer they had secretly been waiting for. The psychic explained that sometimes one person enters another person's life and becomes impossible to measure by ordinary memories. Your special person thought distance would make everything simpler. They thought silence would close the chapter. Yet somehow, little things kept bringing you back: a familiar feeling, an unexpected memory, a moment when they wished you were there. Then the psychic revealed the part that made your special person's eyes widen: the biggest surprise isn't what this person feels about you. It's what you are eventually going to realize about them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and what the psychic was about to reveal next was the one thing your special person never imagined hearing about you. Something changed the moment the psychic looked at your photo again. My beloved child, don't skip, because this is where your special person heard something they were completely unprepared for. The psychic stared at your face and quietly said, "You still don't understand who this person is becoming." Those words immediately caught your special person's attention. They had entered that room wanting answers about why you remained on their mind, but suddenly the reading was no longer about the past. It was about what could happen next. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The psychic explained that distance had forced your special person to notice what your presence once made easy to ignore. Certain conversations no longer felt the same. Certain moments reminded them of you unexpectedly. And whenever something important happened, your name somehow returned to their thoughts. That was when your special person realized something surprising. Maybe they never truly wanted to forget you. Maybe they only wanted the feelings to become easier to understand. Then came the revelation that made them completely silent. The psychic said, "You are worried about whether this person still remembers you, but you should be asking a different question. Don't skip." Your special person leaned forward and asked, "What question?" The psychic replied, "Will they still be the same person when your paths cross again?" That sentence hit differently. Your special person had been imagining you exactly as they remembered you, but they had never considered how much you might have changed. The psychic suggested that you could be entering a period of stronger self-worth, clearer boundaries, and deeper confidence. And suddenly your special person understood why this reading felt so emotional. While they had been trying to understand their feelings about you, you might have been quietly becoming someone they would have to meet all over again. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The biggest surprise was not simply that they still thought about you. It was that they were beginning to realize your absence had shown them the value of what your presence once meant. But then the psychic noticed one final detail in your photograph. Their expression changed again. They moved the picture closer, stared for several seconds, and whispered, "This is what I noticed from the beginning." Your special person immediately asked what they meant. The psychic paused before answering, making the silence feel heavier than everything already revealed. Don't skip, because this was the moment your special person had unknowingly come there to hear. The psychic finally said, "There is something about this person you underestimated, and when you understand it completely, your entire view of this connection may change." Your special person looked at your photograph differently after that. Not like an old memory. Not like someone they could easily place in the past. But like someone whose true importance might only now be becoming clear. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. And what the psychic revealed next about that mysterious detail in your photograph left your special person with only one question: how did they fail to notice it before? What the psychic noticed was so unexpected that your special person stopped asking questions. My beloved child, don't skip, because this is where the meaning behind your photograph became impossible for them to ignore. The psychic pointed toward your expression and said, "This person carries something you never fully recognized when they were close to you." Your special person immediately leaned forward. The psychic wasn't talking about appearance. They were talking about the quiet strength behind your eyes, the kind of strength that appears after someone has learned to stop chasing what cannot recognize their value. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your special person suddenly remembered moments when you gave more than you received, understood more than you explained, and stayed quiet even when you had every reason to walk away. That was when the psychic said something unforgettable. You thought their silence meant they would always remain where you left them. But their silence may have been transformation. Those words changed everything. And then came the part your special person never expected to hear. Don't skip. The psychic said that the person in the photograph seemed emotionally different from the version your special person still carried in their memory. stronger, clearer, less willing to accept uncertainty. Your special person had spent so much time wondering whether you missed them that they never considered another possibility. You might have finally discovered how powerful your life could become without waiting for anyone to choose you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Suddenly, your special person felt the weight of every opportunity they had postponed, every honest conversation they avoided, and every moment when they assumed there would always be more time. The psychic looked at them and quietly said, "Sometimes people recognize someone's value only when they realize that person is no longer standing still." And for the first time, your special person understood why seeing your photograph had affected them so deeply. But the psychic still hadn't revealed the most surprising part. They held your photograph for another moment and said, "There is one thing this person may do next that you are not prepared for." Your special person's eyes widened. Don't skip, because this changed the entire reading. The psychic explained that your next chapter might not revolve around proving anything to anyone. Instead, it could be about choosing what finally chooses you back: peace, respect, clarity, and the people who genuinely recognize your presence. That possibility shook your special person because suddenly they understood what they could lose by remaining silent forever. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The psychic placed your photograph back on the table and whispered one final sentence. If you truly want to understand why this person entered your story, there is something you need to know before the next chapter begins. And what they revealed after that was the one truth your special person had been avoiding from the very beginning. Then the psychic finally said the words your special person had been waiting to hear. "My beloved child, don't skip, because this is where everything they believed about you began to shift." The psychic placed your photograph directly in front of them and whispered, "This connection was never difficult because it meant nothing. It became difficult because neither of you understood its importance at the same moment." Your special person went completely quiet. Suddenly, memories started returning differently, the conversations they dismissed, the moments when you needed clarity, and the times they assumed your presence would simply remain available. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The psychic explained that your special person had been looking backward, trying to find the exact moment everything changed, when the greater truth might be much simpler: you were changing. You were learning what deserves your energy and what no longer deserves endless waiting. And that realization affected your special person more deeply than anything else they had heard. But suddenly, the psychic leaned forward and revealed something even more surprising. Don't skip. The person in this photograph may no longer need the answer you think they need, they said. Your special person froze. They had imagined that someday they could explain everything and somehow return to the exact place where the story paused. But the psychic suggested that your heart could already be moving towards something stronger: clarity. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your special person realized that while they had been deciding what to say, you might have been discovering what you would no longer accept. While they wondered whether you still remembered them, you might have been building a life where your happiness was no longer dependent on their next move. That was the revelation they never expected. They weren't simply afraid of losing your attention. They were beginning to understand what losing access to your presence could actually mean. And just when your special person thought the reading was finished, the psychic stopped them from reaching for your photograph. Wait, they whispered. There is still one final thing. Don't skip, because this was the moment that changed the entire atmosphere. The psychic looked at your photo one last time and said, if this person enters their next chapter completely, you may see a side of them you have never seen before. Your special person stared at your picture, wondering what that could mean. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The psychic explained that the next version of you could be calmer, stronger, and impossible to confuse with the person who once waited patiently for answers. Then came the final twist. And when they realize exactly what they deserve, someone is going to make a decision. Your special person immediately asked, who? The psychic slowly looked up and gave an answer that left them speechless, because the decision they were talking about was not yours. It was theirs. Now everything came down to one decision. My beloved child, don't skip, because your special person suddenly understood why they had been brought face to face with feelings they had avoided for so long. The psychic looked directly at them and said, sooner or later, you will have to decide whether you are going to keep watching this person become a memory, or finally become honest about what their presence means to you. Those words landed differently. Your special person had always believed there would be more time to speak, more time to explain, more time to understand what they truly wanted. But now they were realizing that you were not standing still. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person they remembered might already be becoming stronger, clearer, and far more protective of their peace. And suddenly, their biggest question was no longer, do they still think about me? It became, what if I wait until they no longer need an answer from me? Then the psychic revealed the truth hidden underneath the entire reading. Don't skip. They said, your strongest emotion is not confusion. It is realization. Your special person looked down at your photograph, and for the first time, they understood exactly what that meant. They were realizing how many small things about you had stayed with them. Your voice. Your energy. The way certain conversations felt effortless. The strange comfort of knowing you were there. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They had assumed those details would slowly disappear, yet distance had made them clearer. And that was why the psychic's emotional reaction to your photograph had affected them so strongly. It forced your special person to confront something they had repeatedly pushed aside. Some people become important quietly, and you may not understand how deeply they mattered until their presence is no longer guaranteed. But just before the reading ended, the psychic gave your special person one final sentence they could not forget. Whatever happens next, do not expect this person to return as the version you once knew. Don't skip, because that was the biggest revelation of all. Your special person looked at your photograph again, but now they saw possibility instead of memory. They realized that if your paths ever came together again, everything could feel different because you would be different too. Stronger in what you accept. Clearer about what you deserve. Less willing to remain inside uncertainty. And that realization left your special person with a choice they could no longer postpone forever. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The psychic slowly returned your photograph and whispered, when the moment arrives, you will understand why this person was impossible to forget. Your special person walked away carrying your picture, but also carrying a truth they could no longer pretend they had never heard. But the moment your special person stepped away, something unexpected happened. My beloved child, don't skip, because the reading was supposed to be over, but the psychic suddenly called them back. Your special person turned around, confused, and the psychic said, "There is one thing I didn't tell you about that photograph." The room became silent again. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The psychic explained that the strongest impression wasn't about what had already happened between you. It was about what your special person had failed to recognize while you were still close. They had mistaken your patience for permanence. They believed there would always be another opportunity to explain themselves, another conversation, another chance to say what remained unsaid. But now they were beginning to understand that someone can care deeply and still reach a point where they choose their own peace. That single realization changed the way your special person looked at your photograph. Then came the sentence that stayed in their mind long after they left. Don't skip. The psychic said, the person you remember and the person you may meet again could feel like two completely different people. Your special person felt something shift inside them. They suddenly imagined seeing you again. Not waiting, not questioning, not searching for reassurance, but carrying yourself with a confidence they had never witnessed before. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. And that possibility made them realize something surprising. Perhaps the greatest change in this entire story was happening within you. Every unanswered question could have been teaching you clarity. Every moment of distance could have been showing you what truly deserves your attention. Your special person had gone searching for a prediction about you, but instead they received a mirror showing them everything they had taken for granted. And just before they finally walked away, the psychic gave them one last message. Don't skip, because this is where the meaning behind those emotional tears became clear. I became overwhelmed when I saw that photograph because I could see how much importance you attached to someone you were still pretending was only a memory. Your special person said nothing. They simply looked at your picture and finally understood why they had brought it there in the first place. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They never truly wanted permission to forget you. They wanted an explanation for why they couldn't. And now they had one. Whatever happens next, your place in their story had already changed something inside them. The only mystery remaining was whether they would finally act on that realization, or wait until your next chapter had already begun without them. What happened after that reading was something your special person never expected. My beloved child, don't skip, because the moment they returned home, they placed your photograph in front of them and simply stared at it. But this time, they weren't searching your face for answers. They were remembering everything they had ignored. The conversations that ended too soon, the words they almost said, and those quiet moments when your presence meant more than they admitted. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. One thought kept repeating in their mind, what if I understood this person too late? And suddenly, the psychic's words felt completely different. Your special person realized they had spent so much time protecting themselves from uncertainty that they never noticed what their silence might have been creating between you. Then something even deeper hit them. Don't skip. They remembered how naturally you once gave your attention, your patience, and your time. Those things had seemed ordinary when they were receiving them, but now they understood they were never ordinary at all. The psychic's message returned to them. You might not be waiting in the same emotional place anymore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your special person began wondering what would happen if they reached out and discovered that you had changed. What if your heart had become calmer? What if you no longer needed the explanation you once deserved? That possibility shook them because they finally understood the difference between knowing someone cares and assuming they always will. For the first time, they could see that your silence might not mean emptiness. It might mean you had finally learned to protect your peace. But just when they thought they understood everything, one final detail from the psychic's reading returned to their mind. Don't skip, because this was the detail they had completely overlooked. Before your special person left, the psychic had quietly said, "When you look at this photograph tonight, you will remember something important." And suddenly they did. A moment between you that seemed insignificant at the time came rushing back, a look, a sentence, something you once said that they never fully understood. Now its meaning felt completely different. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your special person stared at your photograph and realized that perhaps you had shown them exactly how deeply you cared long before they were ready to recognize it. And now one question was keeping them awake. If they finally come forward with everything they never said, will they still find the same heart waiting, or will they discover that you have already become someone they must learn how to deserve? That night, your special person could not shake one thought from their mind. My beloved child, don't skip, because the memory that returned was not random, it was the exact moment when you once gave them a chance to understand what you truly meant to them, and they didn't recognize it. Maybe it was something simple you said, a look you gave them, or the way you stayed when walking away would have been easier. Now every detail felt different. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your special person suddenly understood that the psychic had not given them the comfortable answer they expected. Instead, they had been forced to face one powerful possibility. While they were waiting for the perfect moment to understand you, you may have been learning how to stop waiting for anyone to understand you at all. And that realization made your photograph feel less like a memory and more like a reminder of something precious they had almost allowed to disappear. But what happened next surprised even them. Don't skip. Your special person picked up their phone and almost searched for your name. Their fingers stopped for one simple reason. They had no idea what version of you would answer now. The old you might have immediately understood their silence, but the person you are becoming may ask for clarity. The old you might have accepted unfinished words, but the stronger you may recognize exactly what you deserve. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Suddenly, your special person realized that reaching out was not the hardest part. The hardest part would be showing up differently than before. They could no longer return with half-finished intentions and expect everything to feel the same. If they ever entered your world again, they would have to bring honesty, consistency, and the courage to finally say what they had kept hidden. And then the psychic's final message suddenly made complete sense. Don't skip, because this is the revelation your special person had been moving toward since the moment your photograph touched that table. Those overwhelming tears were never simply about sadness. They represented the emotional weight your special person had attached to someone they were still pretending they could easily forget. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your special person finally understood that the biggest mystery was never whether you were unforgettable. Their own actions had already answered that. The real mystery was what they would do with that realization. And as they stared at your name on their screen, one final thought changed everything. Maybe the next chapter would not begin when you reached toward them. Maybe it would begin when they finally found the courage to reach toward you, and what they were about to decide could change the direction of this entire story. And then came the moment your special person had been avoiding all along. My beloved child, don't skip, because their finger was still hovering over your name when one realization stopped them completely. They could send a message in seconds, but what could they possibly say after carrying so many unspoken feelings for so long? I miss you felt too small. I've been thinking about you didn't explain enough. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Suddenly, the psychic's words returned with incredible clarity. If you approach this person again, don't bring the same version of yourself that created the distance. That sentence changed everything. Your special person understood that reaching out was not about finding perfect words. It was about finally becoming honest enough to say what those words had been hiding. And for the first time, they began imagining what they would tell you if they had only one opportunity to speak without fear, pride, or hesitation. But there was another revelation waiting beneath that thought. Don't skip, because your special person suddenly realized why your photograph had affected the psychic so deeply. It wasn't because the picture predicted some guaranteed future. It was because the emotions surrounding your story were still unfinished in your special person's heart. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They remembered how many times they had almost reached out before. How many times your name appeared in their mind unexpectedly. How often they wondered what you were doing, whether you were happy, and whether you had finally stopped looking backward. And that last possibility affected them the most. Because while they were slowly discovering your importance, you could already be discovering something even greater, your own. Suddenly, they understood that the next move could not be based on whether you were still waiting. It had to be based on whether they were finally ready to be sincere. Then something happened that made them put the phone down. Don't skip, because this changed the question completely. Your special person remembered one final warning hidden inside the psychic's message: do not mistake another opportunity for a guarantee. They stared at your photograph again and finally understood. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. If your paths crossed again, the moment would not simply restore everything that existed before. It would reveal whether anything had truly changed. Your special person would have to meet the stronger version of you with a stronger version of themselves. And suddenly, instead of asking, "Will this person take me back?" another question appeared in their mind: if I get another chance to stand in front of them, will I finally be ready to say everything I should have said before? They didn't know the answer yet. But before that night ended, something happened that made them realize the decision might arrive much sooner than they expected. Just when your special person thought the night could not become more emotional, something shifted inside them. My beloved child, don't skip, because this was the moment all those unanswered questions finally pointed toward one truth. They looked at your photograph again and realized they had spent far too long asking whether you still cared, when the question they were truly afraid to answer was whether they had shown you enough care when it mattered. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The psychic's words kept returning, do not expect the same person you once knew. Suddenly, your special person understood exactly why. You may have learned to stop explaining your worth. You may have learned that genuine connection should not leave you endlessly guessing. And the thought of meeting this stronger version of you created a feeling they could no longer ignore. They knew that if another chapter ever opened between you, old patterns could not enter it. Then came the realization that connected everything back to the moment the psychic first saw your photograph. Don't skip, because this was bigger than your special person expected. Those overwhelming tears were not proof of some fixed prediction. They reflected how emotionally significant your story had become in the mind of the person sitting across from them. Your special person finally understood why they had carried your photograph there instead of simply asking about love in general. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They wanted answers about you specifically. Your face. Your presence. Your connection. Out of every person they could have asked about, they chose you. And now that simple fact felt louder than anything the psychic had said. They had been trying to understand why you remained unforgettable, but perhaps the answer was hidden in the question itself. People do not search this deeply for answers about someone who meant nothing to them. And then the final twist arrived. Don't skip, because your special person suddenly picked up the photograph and made a decision. Not about controlling what happens next, but about refusing to hide from their own truth anymore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Whether your paths reconnect or continue separately, they finally understood that your presence had changed something in them. You had shown them what genuine emotional importance can feel like, and distance had shown them what happens when that importance is taken for granted. They looked at your photograph one final time and whispered the sentence they had been unable to admit from the beginning, I understand now. And that was the real revelation behind the entire reading. The psychic had never needed to tell your special person that you were unforgettable. The fact that they carried your photograph into that room had already revealed it. Now only one question remained. What will your special person do now that they can no longer pretend they don't know?